Right, listen up because this is a proper car story, one with Nazis and whatnot. It's a tale that intertwines the dark chapters of history with the birth of an iconic automobile. Picture Germany in the 1930s, a nation grappling with its past and uncertain about its future. The country's still reeling from the Great Depression, with widespread poverty and unemployment casting long shadows over daily life. Most folks are driving horses and carts, not something you'd call motorized. The dream of owning a car was just that, a dream for many. Hitler, being the car nut that he was, dreamt of putting Germany on 4 wheels. He envisioned a future where every German family could own a car. He wanted a people's car, a Volkswagen, something affordable and reliable that even his stormtroopers could afford. It was part of his grand plan to modernize Germany. Enter Ferdinand Porsche, a genius engineer but not exactly known for his political correctness. He was the man Hitler believed could turn this dream into reality. Hitler gave him a shopping list, a car for 2 adults and 3 kids, capable of hitting 62 miles per hour and costing less than 1,000 Reichsmark. It was a tall order. Porsche, ever the professional, got to work. He poured his engineering prowess into the project, determined to meet the Führer's demands. The result was the KDF wagon, later known as the Beetle. It was a marvel of engineering, designed to be both practical and affordable. The Nazis even built a whole new factory town, Wolfsburg, just to churn them out. It was an industrial feat meant to showcase German ingenuity. Problem was, a little thing called World War II got in the way. The war disrupted production and shifted priorities, but the Beetle's legacy was just beginning. Now, before we get all misty-eyed about the plucky little Beetle, let's not forget the war elephant in the room. With the outbreak of World War II, Volkswagen's production lines quickly switched gears from people's cars to military vehicles. Jeeps, amphibious vehicles, you name it, they built it. The factory at Wolfsburg became a vital cog in the Nazi war machine. Volkswagen used forced labor on a massive scale during the war. Prisoners of war, political opponents, and even civilians from occupied countries were forced to work in appalling conditions. Thousands perished due to starvation, disease, and overwork. Volkswagen's wartime activities cast a long shadow over the company's legacy, a shadow they're still grappling with today. Germany lay in ruins after the war, and Volkswagen wasn't in much better shape. The Wolfsburg factory was bombed to bits, and the company's future looked bleak. But like a phoenix rising from the ashes, Volkswagen was about to make a comeback, and it all started with that funny-looking little car. The British, who were administering post-war Germany, saw potential in the Beetle. Production slowly resumed, and soon those curvy little cars were trundling out of the factory gates. The Beetle, designed for a Nazi utopia that never was, became a symbol of German resilience and ingenuity. It became a global phenomenon, a symbol of peace and freedom, the very antithesis of its origins. Now, the Beetle wasn't just a hit in Europe. It hopped across the pond to America and took the Yanks by storm. They loved its simplicity, its affordability, and its, let's face it, rather adorable looks. The Beetle became a symbol of the counterculture, a car for those who dared to be different. From the bustling streets of Rio to the dusty outback roads of Australia, the Beetle made its mark. By the 1970s, the Beetle had become the best-selling car in history, a testament to its enduring appeal. Volkswagen, once a tool of Nazi propaganda, had become a global automotive superpower. The company expanded its lineup, introducing new models like the Golf and the Passat, but the Beetle remained its heart and soul. Now, Volkswagen weren't content with just the Beetle, even though it was selling like hotcakes and becoming a cultural icon. They wanted to be a proper car company, one that could go head-to-head with the big boys like Ford and GM, and not just be known for one model. So they went on a bit of a spending spree, snapping up other car makers like a kid in a candy store, eager to expand their portfolio. They got their hands on Audi, known for their posh saloons, and Seat, the Spanish firecracker with a flair for design. They even took a punt on Skoda, the Czech brand that was, shall we say, a bit rough around the edges but full of potential. Volkswagen's plan was to offer something for everyone, from budget hatchbacks to luxury SUVs, catering to a wide range of customers. Volkswagen invested heavily in new technologies, particularly diesel engines, to stay ahead of the curve. They became known for their fuel-efficient and surprisingly nippy diesels, which were a hit with European drivers, who appreciated the blend of performance and economy. Ah, Dieselgate. Remember that one? It was the scandal that rocked the automotive world and left Volkswagen with a rather large red face. Here's the gist. Volkswagen had been cheating on emissions tests for their diesel engines. They'd fitted their cars with software that could detect when the car was being tested, and then magically reduce emissions to pass the tests. Problem was, out on the open road, those cars were pumping out far more harmful nitrogen oxide than regulations allowed, causing significant environmental damage. It was a massive deception, one that affected millions of cars worldwide, shaking consumer trust. The fallout was swift and brutal, with public outrage and legal actions. Volkswagen's reputation took a nosedive, their share price plummeted, and they faced billions of dollars in fines and lawsuits, a financial and public relations nightmare. It was a lesson in corporate hubris and the importance of clean technology, pushing Volkswagen to pivot towards a greener future. Now, Volkswagen's had its fair share of scandals, but none quite as morally weighty as its Nazi past. For years, the company tried to distance itself from its wartime history, but the ghosts of forced labor and complicity in Nazi crimes kept coming back to haunt them. In the late 20th century, Volkswagen finally decided to confront its past head-on. They issued formal apologies, opened their archives to historians, and even paid reparations to surviving forced laborers. It was a painful process, but a necessary one. Volkswagen acknowledged its role in the horrors of the Nazi regime and pledged to learn from its mistakes. It was about shaping the company's future. So after Dieselgate, Volkswagen needed a new direction, a clean break from its dirty past. And what better way to do that than to go all in on electric cars? They poured billions into developing new electric models, from the compact ID.3 to the sporty ID.4. They even built a brand new factory in Zwickau, Germany, dedicated entirely to electric car production. It was a bold move, a gamble on the future of mobility. Volkswagen was betting big that electric cars were the way forward, and they were determined to be at the forefront of the revolution. Volkswagen wanted to be seen as a leader in sustainability, a company that cared about the environment as much as it cared about profits. So there you have it, the Volkswagen story. It's a tale of ambition and innovation, of darkness and redemption. From its Nazi origins to its global domination, from the Dieselgate scandal to its electric dreams, Volkswagen has been through it all. It's a company forever marked by its past, but one that's striving to build a better future. Whether they'll succeed is anyone's guess. The automotive world is changing faster than ever, and the competition is fiercer than ever. But one thing's for sure. Volkswagen has a knack for survival. They've weathered storms that would have sunk lesser companies. And maybe, just maybe, this company, born from the ashes of fascism, can become a force for good in the 21st century.